Hey, what's up, Go High Livers, and welcome back to another tutorial. In this video, we're going to set up a services calendar system for a photographer or a photo studio. So let's take a quick look at this example here. Now, as you can see, we have a couple of booths where the photographers will be taking pictures, and this business is providing services like senior portraits and family photo. Then we have a couple of photographers and then some inventory as well. Now, of course, there's more to it, but we'll just start with the basic setup to see how we can set up the calendar system. And if you have to add some more services or inventories, you can easily follow the process that I'll show you and build any kind of system that you want. So let's jump into Go High Level and see how we can build it. All right, so once I'm in my Go High Level account, the first thing we're going to do is head over to settings on the left side and then click on my staff. And then we're going to add in our first staff member or a photographer. Then I'm going to add in Mark's details here. Make sure this email is correct because they will receive the login information on this email. Then we're going to scroll down and under user permissions, we can customize a few permissions if we need to. Like I'm going to take off the settings access. So let's close that down and then head over to user roles. This is where you can define the role. So I'm just going to keep that as user. And then under user availability, we're going to pick their shift timings. Make sure these are accurate because these will play out in the calendars later on. So let's say Mark works from Monday through Friday and we will make the timings, let's say 9 a.m. through 2 p.m. And then if you want to copy that to all the days, we can just click here and then you'll see it will be reflected for all the weekdays that we had selected. So once this is done, let's go ahead and click save and our first staff member is ready to go. In a similar way, I'm going to add in our second photographer. So let's click here, then add in their information here. And then I'm going to scroll down and under user roles, I'll make them a user here. And for user availability, let's choose a different one so we can see how that affects the calendar. So Mark had 9 a.m. through 2 p.m. And for Tyson, which is our second photographer, let's do 1 p.m. through 6 p.m. and then copy that to all the days. Now Tyson has a different shift from Mark. And then let's go ahead and click save. And now we have added both the photographers to our location. Let's go ahead and click on calendars on the left side. And now we're going to build the rest of the system. Now, the first thing we're going to add in here can be equipment. So let's go ahead and then add a new equipment. The first one, as per this example, is going to be the 85 lens. So let's add that here. And for total quantity, let's do 1. I can leave this one out for now and then go ahead and click on create. In a similar way, let's create the second equipment as well, which is going to be the lighting kit. And for the total quantity, let's do 1 here, and then let's go ahead and click create. And now as per our example here, we have added both the equipments in our inventory. Now I'm going to head back here and then go to rooms and let's set up the two booths that we have. So I'm going to click on add new room here. We'll call the first one booth 1. And let's say we're going to use this for the senior portraits only. So this one is going to be in booth 1. So we'll just dedicate booth 1 for that. And for total capacity, we'll do 1 here and go ahead and click create. In a similar way, we'll do booth 2, which will be for family photos. So let's head back here, click here and add in booth 2. And this is going to be for family photos. Again, it will have a total capacity of 1. And then let's go ahead and click create. And now we have successfully added both the booths for our photo studio. Once this is done, the next step is to create the service calendars for these two services. So for that, we'll head back here, go to calendars, and then I'm going to set up a new calendar and we'll choose the type as service calendar. So let's add a name here. And then for the description, I'm going to paste this here. And then we're going to pick our staff members. Now you make sure that you only select the staff members that can perform the service that we're creating the calendar for. For now, I'm just going to select both of these. Then I've just added a URL. And then for the service duration, let's keep it 30 minutes. And then this is the booking availability for the service. I'm going to do 9 a.m. through 6 p.m. as our staff members work between those timings. Once this is done, before we hit confirm, we're going to click on advanced settings to go over a few more items. All right, so once this loads up under service details, we have a few options like grouping this calendar. We can do this later on as we do not have a group created yet. Other than that, you can also customize the event colors. Then under availability, we can customize the availability furthermore, like adding in buffer time, minimum scheduling notice, and date range if you need to use that. Under forms and payments, we can customize the wording or add payments. And then for notifications and additional options, I'm going to enable the notifications for the contact as well as the assigned staff so they can get a notification each time an appointment is generated. Then let's head over to customizations and upload a service cover image. Now this would make the calendar look really professional for the customer, so make sure that you add a really nice image for the service. I have just uploaded an image here, and then if you scroll down, you can customize a few more settings in terms of appearance. Once this is done, the final step is rooms and equipment. Now this is where we map the room or the booth to this service calendar. Now, as we decided that we'll use booth 1 for senior portrait, so let's do that. And then for equipments, let's do lighting kit here. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on save. And our first service calendar is now ready. Now, in a similar way, we're going to create the second service calendar, which is for family photos. So in order to do that, we can either create one from scratch, or we can just go ahead and duplicate the existing one and update a few things. So I'm just going to click on duplicate for now. And then I'm going to update the name here as well as the description. And then again, for the group, we can do that later on. If you need to make any changes to the assigned team members, you can do that here. I'll just keep it the same for now. The only thing I'm going to change for now is in customization. So if I head over here, let's remove this image and add a new one here. Once that is updated, we'll head over to rooms and equipments. And then for this service, we're going to choose booths 2. And for equipments, let's say we do a different one, 85mm lens this time. Of course, you can have multiple equipments and you can select the relevant ones. I just wanted to show you the structure or how does it actually work in terms of mapping. Once this is done, we'll go ahead and click on save. And now both the service calendars are ready to go. Now, the next thing we're going to do is group these two calendars together. Now, before we create a calendar group, I want to emphasize why this is important. So before that, let's head back to calendars here. Now, both of these calendars would have a sharing link. So if I click here and click on share, you can find a scheduling link. You can also embed them standalone. But let's say you want to show both the services together under a group, and that comes down to a category on your website or something. In that case, you can actually group these two calendars together and then use one link where it would show both the services at one time. So in order to do that, we'll head over to groups and then create our calendar group. So I'm going to add in the name as well as the description and choose a URL here. Once this is done, we'll hit create. And once the group is created, we'll head back here and then click on the three dots against the calendar. And then we're going to select move to group. And from the drop down, we'll choose the photo services. That is the group we just created. Check mark here and then hit select. And in a few seconds, you will see that this calendar is now mapped or grouped under the photo services. In a similar way, we'll do that for the second calendar as well. So let's go ahead and do that real quick. I'll hit select here. And now both the service calendars are now grouped under photo services. A good example to understand groups furthermore is, let's say you also provide videography services or cinematography. You can create separate groups and then separate service calendars and then basically map them together. That way you're basically grouping services based on their nature. Now, once this is done, I'll head over to groups here and then click on the three dots, and then you'll see that we're able to copy their link. Now, if I open this, you'll see it like this. So this is the group that we created. It has the name here, and then we have both the services that we listed or grouped under this one. And you can choose a family photo or a senior portrait. So let's say if you want to book this one here, we can choose a staff member, or we can say any staff available. So let's say if I move over Tyson here, it will give me the availability based on the business's availability as well as Tyson's availability. So as you know, the Tyson started at 1 p.m. and it finished at 6 p.m. So it is giving you the availability based on that. And if I go back here and choose Mark this time, you will see that the availability will change because Mark works at different timings or different shift. And for each day you will select, it will give you a different timing. Now it is giving us slots from 9 a.m. all the way to 1:30 p.m. So this is how the staff shifts can actually make a difference. And this is basically making sure that no matter what the customer chooses, we do have availability for that, and the customer does not have to call us or double check if everything is on time and if that specific person is available or not. Now, there's one more thing that we can do to take things to the next level, and that is a service menu. So you'll see that here under the calendar settings. I'm going to click here now, and you'll see that you can create a service menu. Now, for the service menu, you can think of it like this. So you can see the first here we have is the calendars or the service calendars. So they can be different service calendars. And then we can group them together, let's say under photo services or cinematography. And then we can further group those groups under a service menu. Then this can be really helpful if we want to show everything under one roof or under one page. So our service menu can have a group for photo services, which would further have two more service calendar, let's say. And then for the group of cinematography, we can have that. And then under that, we can have different service calendars. So in a way, we can basically merge all of that together, and we can give one link to the customer where they can book any service they want. And one more advantage the service menu offers is that it allows you to customize some more settings, like giving an option to book multiple services at once, and also giving you an option to add guests into an appointment. So let's go ahead and set up service menu. I'm going to click on this blue button here. So I've just added in a name here, a description, as well as the service URL. Then you can also customize the form if you need to. And then for the most important settings, we have under additional options. So this is where you can enable guests. You can also enable multiple services selection, and then you can enable or disable staff selection as well. Then under select services, this is where you select the services or the groups you want to include in the service menu. Now, if you had another group for cinematography or videography and had more service calendars under that, you could select that here as well. And then under arrange your services, this really makes sense when you have multiple groups and you want to rearrange them in terms of appearance. Now, once this is done, we're going to click on save here and we'll see how the service menu looks like. So for that, we'll click on three dots here, then copy the permanent or the scheduling link, and then I'm going to open it in a new tab. Now you will see that we have the service menu and description here. Then this is where we have the group. If you have multiple groups, they will appear down here as well as here on the top. And then you can see we have the two service calendars here. So I'm going to pretend I'm a customer. So let's go ahead and click on book here. I'm going to choose the first service. And you will see that the layout is a bit different than the group link that we had, because now it gives us an option to choose or add guests as well into our booking. So you can choose that here. And then if you want to add more services to your booking, you can also click here and then add in another one. This is where the service menu is a bit different from the group link as well. So let's choose family photo here, add that to our booking. And then I'm going to click on continue. Here we can pick up any staff members if you want. By default, it has any staff available at the time. And then we'll go ahead and click on confirm here. And then let's pick a slot from here, click continue, add in our details on the left and click on schedule appointment. Once that is done, you will see the confirmation of appointment, and this is how it would look like to your customers. They would have the two services that they booked for as well as the timings. And then here is a quick description or a disclaimer. And this was how you can easily create a services calendar system for a photographer or a photo studio. Now you can copy and paste this model to any industry you want, and this will help you make the booking process more seamless and hassle-free for that specific industry or business. That was pretty much about this video. I hope you liked it, and thank you for watching.